Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're looking at a pair of Pokemon cards that have something in common. And what they have in common is they can do an awful lot of damage. We're talking Seismitoad, and we're talking Magmortar. They're coming out in Rebellion Crash, the new set that is out in Japan now. And let's start off having a little bit of a look at Seismitoad. Now, it is a Stage 2, and being a Stage 2 is awkward, but 170 HP is high, so that makes us happy. Retreat cost of 3 is annoying because we don't get to use buff padding for extra HP, so that kind of sucks. We've then got a weakness to lightning, which with electro power around, not to mention really good lightning Pokemon like Morpeko and Pikachu and Zekrom, makes us not love the weakness. But you're a water Pokemon, which means weakness hitting on welded X. It means using Frostmoth to accelerate energy as much as you like. So actually, yeah, we don't love the weakness or the retreat cost, but we do like the HP and the typing. Now, the first attack here is nothing to get particularly excited about. Though as we start, I should say a massive thank you to the lovely David Hockman and the lovely Antoine Boulet, who are helping us out with translations. Because they're lovely people, two of our very favourites on this channel. And apparently the first attack for 1 water energy does 30 damage plus confusion. It's alright. The problem is, this is the kind of attack that I like to see on a basic Pokemon. This is kind of it's turn 1 or early at least in the game, and I've got nothing else to do, so I might as well give it a little bit of a go. The problem is, we've seen this on stuff like Xurkitree in the past. And okay, Xurkitree only does 20 damage plus confusion, but Xurkitree's also a basic Pokemon, not a Stage 2, so I'm totally gonna forgive it. A decent emergency attack if you've got nothing else, but I told you we're looking at these cards today because of their gigantic attacks, and this just does not fit the bill. But what does fit the bill is Water Treble Colorless. If your opponent's active Pokemon is confused, this attack does 120 more damage. So that means you're now doing 240 damage, and it's for a fairly expensive attack cost, but it's one that we can pay. And at this stage, we basically got 2 questions. Question number 1, how do we pay the attack cost? Question number 2, how do we make sure my opponent's active Pokemon is confused? Now, starting off in terms of energy, that one is not a terribly difficult question. I've already mentioned Frostmoth, so lets you attach as much energy as you like, as long as it is water energy, and it is to a benched water Pokemon. And then we got Triple Acceleration Energy, which is free colorless. This is an evolution Pokemon, so it can use it. And Twin Energy, which is 2 colorless, and this is a non-GX, non-V Pokemon. So this can totally use it, the energy isn't a problem. As for confusion, a bit more of a problem. We've got Ear Ringing Bell, which if it's attached to any Pokemon and they are damaged, then the attacking Pokemon becomes confused, and then you switch out whatever the defending Pokemon was if they weren't knocked out, and whack up a Seismitoad, which is just normally popped up if it was knocked out, your active Pokemon. And then you get to hit 240, and that's quite nice. We have got the Vileplume that can confuse on a coin flip. You basically get your choice of special condition on a coin flip. Obviously, you would go confusion here. It would be kind of silly if you didn't. There are a bunch of attacks that can confuse, but if you're using one of them, you might as well use Seismitoad, if I'm honest with you. We really want to look at abilities for confusion, and I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not looking great. Alolan Marowak GX does have an ability which works in exactly the same way as Ear Ringing Bell. In that if it's damaged by an attack, the attacking Pokemon is confused, so that's quite nice. We do have Poliwag that confuses on an ability, but having said that, Poliwag only actually works on your first turn if you go second, and you won't have a Stage 2 out, so that's a bit rubbish. If you are going for the confusion, Might I remind you about Parasect and the fact that it does 2 damage to each confused Pokemon between turns? But honestly, there is one good option for confusion here, and it is the Tapu Lele from Lost Thunder. It will rotate out a couple of months after Seismitoad comes out, but there will still be a period of time where you can use either of them. And essentially, you attach a Fairy Charm here, and confusion. Simple as that. And then, of course, what you would do here is use the Magearna, and Magearna basically lets you pick up a Pokemon tool so that you can then reattach it so you get the confusion every turn. If you really want reliable confusion from an ability, and really that's the only good way to play this, you need the combo of Tapu Lele and Magearna. Yes, both of them are going to rotate out shortly after Seismitoad comes out, but not immediately, and you'll still have them in the interim period. So that's quite nice. There's a lot of damage. You've got to get the confusion on, and you've got to be able to accelerate energy, but neither of those are impossible tasks, as I've shown you, and then you're doing 240 damage, which is enough to KO a Pikachu and Zekrom, or enough to KO a Zacian. With weakness, you're getting Reshiram and Charizard. You're basically getting any Pokemon V, even the biggest one in the game right now, which is Zamazenta. So any Pokemon V, any Pokemon GX except for a few Stage 2s. You're not getting VMAXs, you're not getting many tag teams, but this is still a redonk amount of damage. Now, moving over into Magmortar here, we've got another Pokemon that does similarly pretty gosh darn huge damage. Now, starting off with the basics, we've got 140, which is pretty good for a Stage 1, the same annoying retreat cost of 3, and a weakness to water, which really depends on how big Frostmoth decks get. If Frostmoth decks get big, this is a very bad thing. If they don't, this is alright. And you are a fire Pokemon. You can use Welder to accelerate energy, and Fire Crystal and Fiery Flint and a million other things to search out your energy. There's some good tricks, but mostly it's Welder we're worried about. Now, once again, we've got a first attack that does 30 damage plus a special condition. This time it is Burn, and it's for 2 energy rather than 1. You can use Weller Volcano Park, so they cannot flip out of Burn. We've got Infernape, so they take 6 damage counters for Burn between turns rather than 2. It's fine, and it's 2 energy, so that's a Welder. But honestly here, if you're using this attack, something's gone a bit wrong and the game is not going as you might like. What we like far more is the attack Ground Burn. 2 fire, 1 colourless energy, 80 damage, not great. Each player discards a top card of their deck. This attack does 100 more damage for each energy discarded in this way. If you can hit 2 energy here, then you're doing 280 damage. And 280 damage is flat out over the top, inarguably phenomenal. That is any tag team other than Magikarp and Wailord, or the Free Birds. But that's it, they're the only ones you're not getting here, which is pretty gosh darn good. It is basically any Pokemon V, any Pokemon GX. Though you are a little bit shy of VMAXs, VMAXs really start at 300 with things like Morpeko, so you won't quite be getting them. But basically anything other than a few VMAXs, you are good to go. The real question here, of course, and it should be a fairly obvious question, well, firstly, how are you going to get the energy on? You're going to use Welder and attachment for the turn, they're done. But also, how are you going to get energy on the top of your deck? And how are you going to get energy on the top of your opponent's deck? Well, your deck's easy. You're going to use the Oranguru that came out in Sword and Shield. It lets you swap the top card of your deck with a card in your hand. So essentially, you get an energy in your hand, you use Oranguru, that energy goes on the top of your deck, and you get to draw a card at the same time, which is pretty rad, and then you're guaranteeing 180. As for an energy on the top of your opponent's deck, this one is a little bit trickier, but it absolutely can be done. Chip Chip Ice Axe, probably the best option here. It is an item card that lets you look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, put one on top and shuffle the other 2 back in. So hopefully they've got an energy in the top 3 cards. If you'd rather look at the top 5 cards rather than the top 3, good news, we've got Hiker, though Hiker will rotate out a couple months after this comes out, whereas Chip Chip Ice Axe won't. But Hiker lets you look at the top 5 cards of either player's deck, put one of them on top and shuffle the other 4 back in. So it can give you a little bit of a minor consistency boost for yourself, or it can hurt your opponent, and by hurt them I mean make them take an extra 100 damage. We do also have Nita, which is it's a nice little supporter card. Lets you put an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon on top of their deck, but it only works if your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic. Now the good news here is you're getting an energy off of their active, which is then being discarded, meaning they can't have it back. That's kind of awesome. And we are in a very basic heavy format at the moment, but it's not guaranteed, so you have been warned. The good news is we actually have an even better option than anything I've mentioned in this video. It's the Clefable that's coming out in the same set. You see, Clefable's got an ability, which I'll be honest with you, right? Clefable's ability is Nita. When you play Clefable from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you take an energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon and you put it on top of their deck. Oh, look how that worked out. Although it is, like Nita, only energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, it doesn't work from any of their bench. And don't forget, we've got Scoop Up Net coming as well, which is a brilliant option for allowing you to pick up one of your Pokemon, which will be Clefable, so that you can reuse it. And this is the real trick. It's a little bit of a combo, I'll grant you, but the trick here with Magmortar is have a Oranguru to get an energy on top of your deck. And again, I've mentioned stuff like Fiery Flint and Fire Crystal, even Giant Half. It's not going to be difficult to get an energy in your hand, or at least it shouldn't be. Then you use Clefable to try and get an energy off your opponent's active on top of their deck, and between those two Pokemon's abilities, you are now basically guaranteeing 280 damage. Tell me that doesn't sound like fun. Both of these Pokemon can do a huge amount of damage, and they ain't perfect. They ain't supposed to be perfect. What they are supposed to be are fun little options that can do a huge amount of damage, and you have to build around them a little bit, blah, blah, blah. But I tell you what, both of these are very, very cool options indeed. So there we go. Oh, Wassy score. 3 Wassies. They're not amazing, but I do think there is a little bit of potential here for the pair of them. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.